Today, we're diving into a fascinating story about science, health, and some pretty unexpected heroes who are working behind the scenes to protect every single one of us. We're going to be talking about zoologists, but probably not in the way you think.
So let's just jump right in with a question for you. What do you think bats, birds, and monkeys all have in common? They seem pretty different, right? I'll give you a second, but the answer probably isn't what first pops into your head.
Okay, the answer is, well, it's a little chilling actually. All three of them, along with a ton of other animals, can be the original source of diseases that eventually jump over to humans and, you guessed it, cause widespread pandemics. This right here is the critical link that's going to set the stage for everything we talk about today.
Now, there's a scientific name for this. It's called a zoonotic disease. Basically, it's any infectious disease that can be transmitted between species, from an animal to a person. And you can bet this is a huge area of study, because figuring out that transmission is absolutely key to preventing the next global health crisis.
So, how in the world do you even begin to tackle a problem this complicated? A problem that literally crosses the boundaries between species? Well, the answer lies in this really smart framework called the One Health approach.
The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. And it's this: our health is not separate from the health of the world around us. For a long time, we've acted like it is, and we've learned the hard way that treating these as separate problems just doesn't work.
And that brings us to this idea of One Health. It's a holistic approach, which is just a way of saying it looks at the big picture. It's built on this fundamental truth: the well-being of people, animals, and our environment are all completely intertwined. And the big takeaway? You simply can't protect one without also protecting the others.
Think of it like a three-legged stool. You've got human health, animal health, and environmental health. The whole point of the One Health approach is that these aren't separate pillars. They are interlocking parts of the exact same system. What affects one is absolutely going to affect the others.
Okay, with that framework in our minds, let's introduce the unexpected hero of this whole story. We're about to meet the people who work right in the middle of that interconnected system.
So, be honest, when I say the word zoologist, what's the first thing that you picture? For a lot of us, it's somebody who just really loves animals. Maybe they work at a zoo or they're out in the jungle somewhere studying monkeys, right?
Well, it is time to completely reboot that image. For what we're talking about today, I want you to think less animal enthusiast and way more disease detective. It's a really powerful shift in how we see them, and you know what? It's incredibly accurate. Because this is exactly where they operate. Modern zoologists are the experts working at that critical intersection we were just talking about, that meeting point of human, animal, and environmental health. And their expertise there is absolutely vital.
So let's really break it down. What do these disease detectives actually do as part of this global investigation to keep us all safe? First up, surveillance. These men and women are on the front lines, monitoring wildlife and tracking disease outbreaks. They are, quite literally, our planet's early warning system. By spotting a new pathogen in an animal population, they can sound the alarm long before it becomes a human epidemic. Even zoos become these critical outposts for what's called sentinel surveillance, where the health of the zoo animals can act as an indicator for bigger environmental health risks.
Next, they dive into ecological investigations. See, it's not enough to just find a disease. You have to understand why it's spreading. Zoologists study how things like deforestation or changes in animal behavior might be helping a pathogen get around. They use a combination of fieldwork and lab techniques to pinpoint disease reservoirs. Those are the animal species that can carry a pathogen, often without getting sick themselves, and then pass it along.
And they absolutely do not do this work alone. The One Health approach is all about teamwork. You have the zoologist, who brings this deep knowledge of animal biology and behavior, and that perfectly complements the expertise of veterinarians, public health experts, and ecologists. Each one has a distinct and essential role to play if you want to see the full picture.
And beyond all the science, zoologists are also crucial communicators. They're bridge builders. They have to translate their complex findings so that policymakers can create smart, effective health strategies. They educate the public on why, say, a healthy forest is so vital for reducing disease risks. And they're always pushing for more interdisciplinary training to build the next generation of problem solvers.
So after looking at all this evidence, what's the final verdict? Well, it all boils down to a really simple but powerful connection. Our health is completely tied to their world.
The ultimate goal of all of this, the surveillance, the investigation, the teamwork, is to finally achieve a truly holistic approach to global health. One that recognizes the deep, unbreakable bonds between all living things and the environment we all share. And when this all works, the outcomes are just massive. When we better understand the animal world, we can actually prevent new diseases from emerging in the first place. That, in turn, helps us conserve biodiversity and create more stable ecosystems. And the end result of that whole chain reaction? The protection of global health for every single one of us.
You know, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The mission is to prevent disease emergence, conserve biodiversity, and protect global health through a holistic approach to interconnected health systems. I mean, that's it. That's the whole ballgame.
And that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. And this one isn't just for the scientists, it's for all of us. If we now understand that our health truly depends on the health of their world, then how are we, together, going to protect it